Welcome to Warrior Class.
where the teachers whoop ass, and you will
You will
too.
too, if you pass. All right. So this is the How to Win a Street Fight episode.
Yeah, bro.
Um, we're going to get into it. I'm not sure if Billy's going to be here. He had a death in the family, so we're sending shout outs to him, sending our condolences.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Um, we're
To
going to get
him and
into
his
it
family.
to him and his family. Yes. Do we have any news?
Um, oh, Baba, I apologize. Um, I gotta go grab my phone. Give me just a second. I did have a couple pieces of news. Just a
All right.
second. Excuse me, family.
All right. We are going to get into it as soon as Ominiki gets back. Um, how have y'all's week been? Mine has been pretty good. Um, just did some writing, a little reading as usual. So it was pretty good. On that too, uh, Warriors read. So just remember that Warriors read. So don't sit up there telling me you don't read and all of that. If you can't read, learn to. If you don't read, do.
Yeah,
Okay.
bro.
All right. So Ominiki's back with the news.
Let's see here. One of the pieces of news that I was reading yesterday was about I don't know the ethnicity of any of these people, but it was about the fact that this teacher had basically randomly murdered this married couple that were on a hiking trail with their two young daughters. Their daughters were like 7 and 9.
Did he
So
make daughters too?
no, he didn't.
Hmm.
No, and the daughters were the ones who found someone and alerted them to what had happened. But this guy just didn't seem like he had any kind of plan. He just kind of murdered one of them. They were in separate locations, so I guess he stalked them. After he murdered the husband or the wife, and then he stalked the other one and murdered them too. So it seems like he tried to cover it up, but it also was obvious that it was a kind of a random thing that he didn't really plan it out. So that's just precautionary for all of us, especially when you're putting yourself in these isolated situations when you're out hiking. You should definitely have tools because who knows what can happen, while you're out there. Like I said, this is just like a random thing. It seems like this dude wanted to maybe become a serial killer or something like, he had those type aspirations. He didn't have any criminal record and he was a teacher. So, that's scary. Another story that I
He might be a serial killer.
right. He could be once they
It
look
might,
into it.
yeah, he might have other victims out there.
Yeah, both. Yeah. But I guess what I was thinking that because of the randomness of it, maybe this was his first time doing it, but maybe not. It's true, you know.
Mm.
Um, the other thing I was gonna say is, for all of my good sisters out there who are choosing the bear attacks are up right now. They are constantly reporting out of Alaska and other places that have native, bears that are native to that area. That bears are like attacking and mauling people left and right.
Mm.
So be careful. Bears are nothing to play with, even as a metaphor.
Now
So,
In New York City, there was a woman, uh, a young woman. I think she was 24 years old.
yeah, Bob.
Uh, a young African woman, black. Uh, she beat a 4-year old and a 6-year old. She was babysitting them. She beat them. I believe it was 58 times. So it was almost 60 times within 5 minutes. And then she terrorized them. She put on horror costumes, and so she was terrorizing them. And her grandmother, their grandmother saw all this on a hidden camera. And so the woman was just arrested, I think, this morning.
Wow.
So be careful who's around your children. I
Right.
looked at her. She looked,
Like off.
no, no, no. She looked normal.
Oh,
She was a
wow.
pretty black girl, um, well kept, except, and I don't want you to look at this really. Just be careful, period. But except her eyes told me something. But I'm a person experienced in looking for that.
Right.
So her eyes told the story, and the eyes are the windows to the soul.
Yeah, Bob.
Um, so usually the eyes will, but somebody who's good at what they do, they can hide it. They can hide in their eyes. Okay.
Right.
So be careful. Um,
And there are people who don't look at eyes. Also, that's
oh
another
yeah,
bad
of course.
habit.
Yeah. Well, not bad at it because in combat you shouldn't look at the eyes.
Right, but I'm saying just meeting someone, talking with them, you should be looking in their eyes. But there are
Yeah.
people who, that's avoid that.
Some people hide. Like I took my daughter Okeshina when she was 2 years old. She's 30 something now, but she was two. No, she was older than two. She was three. But we took her to, maybe she was two. We took her to this woman who was a babysitter, and we chose this woman because the woman is a vegetarian, and we are too. So we took her. We saw this is perfect, and she's making vegetarian meals, and but when we first went there, she had on not really booty shorts, but almost. This woman's like 60. She had on booty shorts and some cowboy boots. It was the weirdest scene. I said, boy, she was dressed strange. And my wife said, well, yeah, she was dressed strange. We'll just, look at it. And if she keeps dressing like that, we'll just take Okashina out of there. I said,
Right.
yeah. So Okashina was there. And then Okashina's personality began to change, like quickly, over a couple of days. I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong? She said, nothing. Like, what is wrong? Nothing. This woman was putting all the children in cages. We didn't know, of course. But what we did find out, the girl, I guess, who shared the cage with Okeshina, she kept crying. The woman took her to the steps, and she broke her neck. Then she shoved her down the stairs. Then she said, and all the children saw this now. Then she said that The girl broke her. She crawled out of bed, out of the crib they were in, and she got to the stairs and crawled, fell down the stairs and broke her neck. I immediately knew she was lying when because I saw it on the news. They said, a tragedy, blah blah blah. I immediately knew she was lying. I called the detectives who were investigating it. I told them what I felt, what I saw, what I heard in her voice,
Hmm.
and they told me, "Damn, you like Sherlock Holmes. You like Sherlock Holmes because we just uh, they just found something that you know she had broken the child's neck, and I knew it. A friend of mine, he hired an attorney for. He was because I had told him about the woman, and he was sending his sons to her. He was convinced she was innocent at first. He paid for an attorney for the woman. Uh, I don't know why, because she could have paid herself, but he paid for the attorney for the woman. Uh, he was taking care of the woman's daughter. It was, and then came to find out. And she admitted it after a while, that she had done that. And I talked to my daughter. I didn't know about the cage part until later. Years later, she told me that, she should keep us in cages. I said, what? She said, yeah, we were all in cages. We weren't in no cribs. Just when you all would show up, she would take us out and, put us in the cribs. She said, we weren't in no cribs. I said, if you had told me that
Right.
when you were young, I would have checked. I would have gone into her house, checked. And if I found cages and children in cages, I would have killed that woman. I was like, it's too late now, but anytime anybody does anything to you, let me know.
Yeah.
And I'll give you justice.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's important to have those conversations with your children.
yes. And we had, she was young, too real young. We had things about, tell us if anything goes on, or blah,
Right.
blah.
I'm sure.
And I'm sure the woman told her, if you tell, I'm going to, hurt your parents too, or something like that. When you talk to your child, people out there, tell your child, if they threaten me, threaten you, still let me know.
Right.
Somebody protect me. That's all you got to tell. Somebody protect me. They're not going to hurt me.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I
And
had a similar conversation with my son.
if you're a predator out there, from the bottom of my heart, you deserve death. If you are a child predator,
Absolutely.
you deserve death. If I find out about you, I'm going to do you. I may not, you may be in another state. I have people in other states that will do you. So, what? You know, but yeah, that woman, she was abusing those little children, 4 and 6 years old. And I don't know why they didn't tell, but, children can be made afraid.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah,
she was dressing
definitely.
up like a monster and uh, horror movie costumes and shit.
Hmm. Yeah, even when you have those conversations with children, when they're in the moment, because most of the time, most of the things you tell them could happen don't happen. Most of the terrible things that you have conversations with them about, they don't actually see in real life. So when something like that happens, sometimes they don't know, it just doesn't
And,
connect with
and
them. Oh, I must tell my father about this as soon as I see him.
well, some things are so crazy,
Right,
like her dressing up like a horror movie creatures and terrifying the children. It's just insane, man.
right. Yeah. And I do have one other piece of news, Bob. But since we're talking about predators, I'll keep it brief. But just this is in line with mental training as well. We know a lot of our young people have this kind of thing about being unbothered and all that. There's a video that I saw circulating online of this young woman who's like 15, 16 years old. She's standing waiting for a bus. She's looking at her phone, like, we see all the time. And this guy is just like standing, like clearly staring at her, darting around her, doing different things. And she's basically ignoring him, or appearing to ignore him. She's absorbed by her phone, and he is looking around like he's looking for, waiting for someone to pull up around her. It could be video taken out of context, but it looks like he's looking for an opportunity for something to happen with her, for her to get snatched up or something like that. So that's another thing, since we're already talking about predators, that we need to be speaking with our young people about, which is keeping your eyes open, especially when you're alone, in public. You should be really, when you're with your friends too, y'all should all be looking out for each other. But when you're by yourself, the value of looking cool, being unbothered, and acting standoffish and ignoring someone, like that can put your life in danger. You need to
You
be
know,
actively paying attention to, why is this man so close to me? What
when
is
you
happening? He's
when you're with
all
your
behind her. She needed to have her back to the wall or her back to something. So I'm sorry,
when
Robert.
you're with your children too, be aware of everything,
Yeah,
uh,
boom.
everything in your environment. I was on a train with four of my girls, and I believe the oldest one at that time, the oldest one I was with, I think she was 8 or 9. So I'm with young children. Uh, well, I think it was 8, 6, 4, and 2, I believe. So anyway, uh, this guy is walking, and he's at a distance at first. He's looking, rubbing his mouth and his chin, and he's looking. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? So I kept my eyes on him. You know, I brought the children in closer to me, and I just kept my eyes on him. And this fool starts walking towards me after a while. I said, what is this fool going to say to me? And he walks over. He said, man, you got some fine ass daughters. They sexy. Little girls. I said, man, get the fuck away from us or I'm going to kill you right now. He did the clutch his pearls and stuff. I'm like, motherfucker. And then he walks off and he's looking back. And it was a police officer who was up there. He's doing this. The police officer comes up. He said, what did he say to you? He said, my daughters are fine as hell. They sexy. He said, what? I said, yeah. He said, all right. So he went down there and I don't know what he did to the dude or if he said anything to him or something, but yeah, that was it. I mean, it was crazy. Once I was in the theater and I'm in the theater with a woman. She's sitting on this side. I'm sitting right here. She says, after a while, well, a guy comes sit down right next to her. She said, this guy's over here playing with himself. I said, okay, well, on the count of three, let's switch places. She said, oh, no, don't hurt him. I said, you crazy? You out your mind? I'm going to fuck him up. On
Right.
the count of three, let's switch. One, two, three. We switched real quick. He was trying to put his penis up. I said, boom, hit him. And I said, no, no, no. No, don't put it up. Don't put it, boom, keep it out. Keep it out. He was, oh. I said, keep it out. Keep it out. He started throwing up. I said, oh, yeah. Boom. Yeah, you're going to play with it. Boom. Play with it. Play with it. He was just, oh. Then he kind of like scooted over to the other seat. Then he ran up out of there.
I bet.
I'm like, dude, I was going to beat him through the whole movie if he had sat there. I said, man, it's some crazy. So I remember my mother told me that my father, my uncle, well, this dude came to the door back in the, like, I think it was the 50s. Rang the doorbell. She said, yes, who is it? Brian, I need to come up, Brian. And they ain't have no, video or nothing back then. So
Right.
she buzzes him up. She don't know who it is. And she looks in the keyhole. And he, yeah, ooh, yeah. She's like, get away from my door. Yeah, oh, he's more excited the more she told him to get away from the door, leave here. So then she didn't say nothing. She told my father and my uncle. He came around another time, did it again. So then she told my father and my uncle. They said, oh, yeah? Well, the next time, keep talking to him. Keep talking to him. Just keep him, distracted. And she was like, man, leave here. Get out of here. Yeah, get more excited. Get out of here, man. Yeah. And my father and my uncle came up the stairs. They went out the back, came up the stairs behind him. And they caught him, and that's all I'll say. They went to work on this fool.
As well, they should.
Well, I because both my father and my uncle passed, they gone. And my mother wasn't involved in it. She was just like, I didn't know what they were gonna do. My uncle grabbed him around the mouth and around the body, pulled him back, and my father beat him with a belt buckle on his penis until it was hanging. So he almost cut the man's penis off. Then they threw him down the stairs. And then they came inside. And that was it.
That sounds appropriate.
Right. That dude, of course, never came around again.
Of course.
If he could, he never came around again, There's some crazy motherfuckers. Once again, my father and my uncle. So my father and my uncle Hank, they were best friends. My father, my uncle, and he's my mother's brother, my mother's older brother. My mother, and Phyllis, my older sister, she was pushing her down the street. And this guy came up and said, oh, that's a pretty baby. Can I see the baby? So my mother said, sure, you can look at the baby. He's down there looking at the baby. And then my father and uncle just started beating the hell out of the dude. So my mother's like, what the hell? What are you doing? He had slipped his finger up under her diaper.
Oh,
You got to be real careful of people.
Oh yeah, you cannot.
That was in the 50s. Things are worse now. My sister was born in 1958. So that was 58.
Right.
Things are much worse nowadays.
That's awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
nowadays people just they just grab you off the street. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah.
did that on the street, though. You know,
Yeah, that's bold right there. But
yeah,
when you feel like there's not going to be any consequences, and like greetings, Emmanuel Briggs. Emmanuel Briggs said people are sick. There's definitely some sick folks out there that will try whatever they can. Once they have that bubbling over out of them, and they have that desire to do those type of things, they,
they're sick. They aren't necessarily insane though, but they are sick. I don't allow them to label themselves insane so they can get away
right.
with things. Um, a dude once walked up. I was getting out the car with my children. My wife had already gotten out. She was at this uh, place that was selling different colognes and stuff in the West End in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And this guy was walking by and he stopped. He said, "I'm going to kill you. I kill you." He talking to my children. I said, "Well, come on. Come on, kill him. Come on. Come on over here, kill him." He's like, "I kill him. I kill you too." Come on. Come on. I'm not playing with you. I'm going to take your life right here. Come on. That motherfucker kept walking. And Yellow Goon, came running over. She said, what's going on? I said, "This motherfucker said I'm going to kill you." So I said, "Well, come on. Let's see. Let's see you do it." She's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have, that man's crazy. I've seen him before. He's crazy." I said, "He ain't that crazy." He kept walking.
Right. He
When I
left.
told him I'm gonna get with his ass, he kept walking. He ain't that crazy.
Mm-hmm.
A woman one time, she came up to the car. She was like, "Can I have $10?" I said, "No, ma'am. In fact, I don't ask you, can I have $10? I'm broke." She said, "What? I'll slit your throat." I said, "You slit my throat because I don't have money, because I was going to ask you for money. You slit my throat. Well, come on. Come on." I opened up the door to the car, got out. I said, "Come on, slit my throat. Slit my throat." Huh? And I recognized the woman then. I said, "That's the woman who I was trying to go through get on the train, and she jumped through and got in front of me. Use my fare right after I paid." And it was a police officer right in front of police too. And the police officer, I said, "Hey!" I stopped her myself. The police said, "What are you doing?" I said, "She got through on my fare, so I'm gonna make her give me some money so I can go through." He's like, "Man, let her go, and I'll just pay your fare." I said, "Okay." So I let her go. These kind of police, they don't protect and serve or nothing like that anyway.
Yeah, they served her.
Right, they served her. I let her go, and he let me, tap the thing, and then I went through. I was like, "Man, because I don't want to see her go to jail. I was just gonna grab her ass and make her pay. She's
Right.
gonna pay." Um, and that was the same woman who said she'd slit my throat. I had 3 encounters with her. I had that encounter, then, and then of course she obviously didn't slit my throat. And
Right.
when I had my knife out, she had a knife out. I'm like, "Goddamn, come on.
Oh,
We'd be some 2 cutting motherfuckers out here." Then after that was in a gas station too. After that, I saw her again. She said she was pregnant. I said, "You're not pregnant. That's a pillow or something in there. You're not pregnant. You're trying to pull another move." She asked for $10 again. I said, "And you shouldn't be asking for $10. You should ask for $1 and let the mug give you $10. But you're not pregnant. I need $10, for my baby." You don't. You don't need $10. I said, and I've got multiple children.
right.
My wife doesn't need money for her baby. When the baby's born, she need money. So come on. And then she just walked off, you know. Um, and I saw her again, but I didn't have no encounter with her. I saw her again about a year later. She was still the same amount of pregnant.
Mm,
And so I was like, it's fake. She faking. So you got all kinds of folks out here,
right.
all kinds, you
And
know,
you gotta keep your eyes open.
always.
Most definitely.
Now, how to win a street fight?
Yeah, Bob. I just want to shout out to the chat, Baba. YouTube Academia, Amy111, Emmanuel Briggs, as I said, Yunzi, the Spider-Man 7285, Smooth Rebel, our good brother Eugene Mason. Welcome. Thank you for coming to Warrior Class today.
Yes. All right. So, and I wanted to talk about those things. I wanted to segue into what I'm doing. I didn't have to fight those people, but I would have,
Yeah, Bob.
and those would have been street fights. Now, an actual fight is an agreement between two people, two combatants, that we're gonna meet at this time in this place. We're gonna have a fight. That's
So I guess after school at 3 o'clock.
right. That's not. Um, it could be that it could be damaging to you, but it's not damaging like a street fight could be to you. Street fight, you can lose your life. Okay, you could lose your life in a fight, but usually not. Usually, that if it was a fight, an agreement between both of y'all, you're not serious combatants. A street fight is a physical altercation that occurs in a public space involving at least two people. At least two people. It could be more. And without the presence of referees, rules, or a controlled environment. It often arises spontaneously from arguments, disagreements, or perceived conflicts and can involve weapons, multiple attackers, and a wide range of injuries. How do I win them? You don't win street fights or house fights or club fights. You survive them. Engaging in it and don't go in, I'm going to win this fight. You're going to survive the fight. All right. Because you can win a fight, beat dude's ass, and then walk away, and the next block you die because
Right.
you're bleeding out. You want to survive the fight. Engaging in a street fight can lead to serious injuries or legal consequences. The best strategy is to avoid confrontation altogether and seek help if you feel threatened. If self-protection becomes necessary, prioritize your safety and try to escape the situation as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Bob. You should stay calm and assess the situation. Be aware of your surroundings and the people involved. Look for potential escape routes and keep a clear head, which helps you think rationally and make better decisions.
You
De-
should de-escalate. Try to talk your way out of the situation. Use calm and assertive language to diffuse tension and adopt a non-threatening posture, avoiding aggressive stances or gestures.
Know when to fight. If you believe you are in imminent danger and cannot escape, prepare to protect yourself. Then look for objects that can provide protection or help you escape and prepare to use them. If you must engage, aim for vulnerable areas like the solar plexus, throat, or groin. Focus on quick, effective strikes to create an opportunity to escape.
Now, note that she didn't say eyes because when you're practicing, you cannot really practice poking the eyes.
Yeah, bro.
If a person's stupid enough to let you do that, you only get two practices, and that's it. And I tried to put goggles on my students one time. I went for the eyes and I cracked the goggles, which luckily didn't go into his eye too. But I cracked the goggles and I said, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
So you got to even be careful with that because you can blind a person with the goggles, or you can go through the goggles. So
Yeah.
you really can't practice your eyes.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say too about the groin. I mean, I know it is a good area, but sometimes, especially I think, just from the things that we've seen in our lifetime, women can be a little bit too focused on the groin, and not all men. You can quickly likely get away if you get a good shot off, but not everyone is as affected by that as.
I was in a fight once. I got kicked in the groin. My adrenaline was up so high, my shake was up too. I just kept fighting. I didn't fall. I didn't. Later, I said, God damn, my nuts hurt.
Yeah, well,
'Cause I took a knee to the nuts, which is harder than a kick.
right. Yeah.
Um,
um,
and it was from a man.
wow.
Um, I didn't fall. I kept fighting. So just know that the groin may not always take the person out.
Right.
Okay.
It
Hits
becomes.
to the solar plexus, hit to the throat. Those are pretty much always.
Yeah, well. uh Stay mobile and be ready to move away if necessary. Remember, your primary goal should be to escape the situation safely, not to win the fight. If possible, call comrades for help or alert bystanders to your situation.
Understand your local laws regarding self-defense. Use of force should always be proportionate to the threat. For example, Georgia law provides broad self-defense protections. This means individuals generally have no duty to retreat and can use force, including deadly force, to defend themselves or others when facing imminent danger. Key aspects of Georgia's self-defense laws are stand your ground, which is Georgia law allows individuals to use force, including deadly force, in self-defense without a duty to retreat from any place they have a legal right to be. And the castle doctrine. This doctrine, also part of Georgia law, allows individuals to use force, including deadly force, to defend themselves in their home or vehicle without a duty to retreat.
Yeah, but
Home or vehicle, and that's key because somebody can kill you in Georgia if you're like they may have cut you off and you road raging, not road raging, I hope, but you road raging, and they pull over to go somewhere, but they stay in the car, they're afraid of you or acting afraid, and you get out the car,
right.
they can kill you, they can kill you.
Yeah, you
Uh,
gotta be
and
careful.
right in Georgia, and also you can kill somebody if they're doing that to you. Just so you know.
I don't know if everyone remembers the national story. It happened right, I believe, right around the beginning of the COVID era. So it was like in 2020. There was a young brother named Ahmaud Arbery who lived in a more southern part of Georgia, I believe, and he was killed by two racists who claimed. I don't know if it was stand your ground. It was one of those that they tried to use as a defense, saying that he was breaking into homes when he was just jogging, basically. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he had stopped and looked at a model home or something like that. And they tried to use these laws, but not effectively. And they're both in jail now. So you do make sure that you research and make sure that you know that you're using the law, like Baba said,
Now,
efficiently.
Robert Brown says, Habari Yenu, my daughter will be attending Georgia State Perimeter College in a few weeks. I would like her to take a self-defense class from you all. How do we go about it, Asante? Uh, well, actually, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we will be in Virginia uh, teaching a martial art workshop at the Happily Natural Day Festival. We'll be teaching the workshop and doing a panel. But when we get back, I intend to do a workshop here. Um, So that'll be in September.
How about?
That we'll do a workshop here, like the middle of September. So the way you go about that is just um, either check our Instagram, Warrior Class BPM, at Warrior Class BPM, or at African Martial Arts.
Right.
Uh,
African with a K.
yeah, with a K, at African Martial Arts. Uh, those two Instagrams will have the information. Also on Facebook, on my Facebook, which is African Martial Arts. But my name is Balogun Ojetade. Uh, Balogun, Balogun, Ojetade, Ojetade. You can look that up and on Facebook, and I'll post it. I'll be posting it on there,
Yeah, about.
the dates and times. Yeah,
Greetings, Jadarian. Welcome.
yes. And we used to do before COVID. We used to do workshops like every 3 months
Very
on
regular.
different topics. You know, but we've slowed down now. But yeah, I want to do another one. I did a workshop a few months ago on knife defense, but this time we're going to do general self defense.
So that's something to look forward to. Anyone who's close or wherever you are, you can definitely travel here for that.
Yeah,
If you're interested in getting a taste of warrior class up close, we would love to see you there.
yep. So, are there any questions? If not, we're going to end early today.
So
But
it's a short and sweet one
yes,
with homework to research the laws in your state to make sure that you, and also, as we've talked about many times before, if you're going to do that research what sort of tools you can also legally carry in your state so that you have a plan for, if this street fight scenario were to jump off.
right. Are there any questions? If a street fight does jump off, um, if if you are outnumbered, or if it is a disparity in ability, like I'm 57 years old. If somebody is 27 trying to fight me, I'm going to pull a tool.
Yeah, bro.
You can believe that. Um, so, is there a disparity in age or size? Usually, a man against a woman, you can pull a tool. There's a disparity in size. There's a disparity in strength, speed.
Absolutely.
You can pull a tool.
Figure out a way to equalize.
And that's what the tool is the great equalizer. So if you pull out, he's like, bitch, and puts up his dukes, and you pull out a knife, you're equalized now.
Right. Yeah, bro.
Okay,
I
so
remember, I'm sorry, go ahead, Bob.
or knife, stick, depending on what is legal
Yeah.
in
And
your.
what's around, what happens to be around. I've talked about
Now
this
we,
before.
we just did improvised weapons and never unarmed. So you always got weapons around,
Right.
whether it looks like a weapon or not.
Yeah, bro. I was gonna say, I don't know how many people, I've talked about this before. I don't know how many people saw the Coming to America sequel that they put out on Amazon, which I personally enjoyed, but that some people hated. It'll never be 1980s Eddie
Yeah,
Murphy again.
that'll be me. It certainly wasn't 1980s come to America. No.
No, definitely not. But one thing that I really enjoyed about the movie was one of the fight sequences, because he has these children in addition to this new son that he discovers. He has these children that are trained in martial arts, and they show throughout the movie how proficient they are and all that. Even though one or two of them are not full grown children, aren't full grown, they're children. So they have this fight scene where they're fighting a grown man. And rather than, them try to act like they just are going toe to toe with this adult, they have them using the things that are around them. They have, I think they had like a bow staff or something like that, but they were using like the glass that was around them to hit it toward him. They were doing all kinds of things like that I thought were great, because they were very realistic to trying to prevail in that type of situation when you're a child or when you're much smaller than someone. You're going to have to use what is in your environment. So shout out to whoever put that together. I thought that was very well done.
And on that, children and tools. I don't, a child under 10 years old should not be armed with a knife. In school, they shouldn't be armed at all. They should have one. That's why you got to train. But if anything, they'd have a pocket sharp. But I wouldn't even recommend that for a child, because a child may use that inappropriately.
Right. With less discernment than they should.
Yes, of course. But every child should learn martial arts from the time they're 6 years old on up.
Yeah, well,
They should be training.
Absolutely. Robert Brown says Asante Baba. Karibu, Robert Brown.
Now,
And
martial arts is not just kick and punch either.
Yeah, well.
So and that's why I don't recommend boxing for a child. Like the art of boxing. If you know a boxer, and you know that they don't deal with honor and respect, that's not in boxing. Two things that I teach, honor, respect. I put that in one thing. The other one is you learn that these techniques hurt. So you get a respect for that. Like, I could really hurt somebody, or I don't want to do this to somebody unless I have to.
Yeah, bro.
Not you want to, you have to. Okay, because the techniques hurt. Absolutely. Now, I put it on my students. I let my students put it on me. Put different techniques on me, and they're not pleasant.
And the great thing about feeling it put on you is you understand that when you learn to do it correctly, how the person will feel, when they're trying to do something to you or attack you, and you put this on them.
How they'll react.
Yeah, Bo.
All of that. Now, a funny thing about that is, if I put like an S-lock on somebody, which you'll learn what that is later. I put an S-lock on somebody. Some people fall to their knees. Some people fall backwards. It is different for different people because of size, because of body context, all of that matters.
And I think too, what people think, what they're thinking, like how they can get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Also, probably plays a part in which way they end up going.
It probably does, and it'll make some ways some people react makes them even more vulnerable than they were when you put that on. What is the law regarding pepper spray use in Georgia? Anybody can use pepper spray.
Yeah, but
Oleo capsicum. Anybody can use pepper spray.
there you
If you're
go.
going
I'm
and if
sorry.
you're going to use pepper spray, use the gel
Yeah, but
or the foam, but the gel is better
because it doesn't
because
really
when the wind blows, that can get on you too. And pepper spray burns. Right. So
and the gel is available in the same places where you buy the spray.
yes, I got pepper spray, and it dripped from my face down to my arm, and it was under my watch. I took the watch off, and there was a burn in the shape of my watch on my wrist. That's how dangerous oleo capsicum is. Um, but it's legal. Um, Spray from 6 feet away if you can. If you spray within like 5 feet, 4 feet, you can actually freeze the person's cornea. I got sprayed by pepper spray, and it was about 4 feet away from the cop who sprayed me. And I was I was almost blinded. I went to the hospital, and they had to flush my eyes for about 2 hours, and I still could hardly see that day, and until the morning too. I didn't have the TV on. I just had, well, it was on, but not watching a show. It had that blue light of the TV that was killing my eye.
Wow.
I just couldn't get up to change it or find the remote. That was killing my eye. So you got to be careful of that. Yeah.
One thing I'm sorry, excuse me, Bob.
Now go ahead. Oh,
Mm,
I'd like to say too.
okay.
After I was sprayed, um, I sued because it was unjust.
Yeah, rightfully so.
I mean,
I
they,
mean, they supposed to be trained, so to speak, you know.
Mhm.
Mm. One thing I was going to mention, though, just from the content that we went over, something valuable that I learned from you in a woman's workshop actually is when it comes to diffusing a situation. Since we talked about diffusing during the street fight, the initial confrontation, is the use of humor and the use of also being in a mindset of keeping things light, to a certain extent as warriors. Sometimes, and it really has changed the way that I um, confront things, or the way that I address things when people are being confrontational, is the use of a little bit of humor in there, or not taking it so serious, or at least not seeming to take it so seriously.
Mhm.
So it's something to think about as well. Just kind of like, when they ask you a question, you have like a more humorous response. That right there can really diffuse a situation where it kind of turns off whatever they might have been thinking, or it just breaks up that whole energy, basically.
Well, if you're having a conversation and it's evolving into an argument,
Right.
bring in some humor to change that course of where it's heading.
Yeah, well. Right.
Because we always want to avoid conflict. It's three forms of self-defense. It's avoidance, which is the highest level. Then it's diffusion and de-escalation. That's the second level. Talking through the thing. And the third level is physical, where you have to handle the person.
Yeah, bro.
Uh, and that is, it's the worst. I don't say worst level. It's the lowest level,
Right.
mentally, socially, ethically. So,
Right. When you've exhausted the other two.
right, exactly. Really, it shouldn't get to even diffusement because you should be out of there.
Right.
But if it happens like because you're having an argument with somebody, something like that, try to bring that down. But just know that it is harder to de-escalate something once it escalates.
Right. Yeah, bro.
So, all right, all right, y'all. Um, Good. Somebody trying to get in here. Probably my daughter. We get in the room. Uh,
It was a short one, but a good one.
yeah,
And trust and
tell them
believe
what it
y'all
is.
walk away with this information.
Yes.
Applying this information.
Stay safe out there.
Yeah,
Stay
bro.
safe in your homes. Stay safe wherever you may be.
Absolutely.
Stay black or whatever it is that you may be.
Yeah, bro.
Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.